I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening. A very, very special early edition of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Kate is down below in the duck. And we are in reverse of Bilbrey Unstandard Time. We are early and here for a reason, because in just a very few short minutes, 4 exactly, we are going to be going live over to another political podcast based out of Indianapolis. My friends over at the Mouthwash Political Talk Show. It is a political life kind of hack. Guys and gals just sitting around shooting the shit and talking about good things and bad things and all of that. But it's political. It's hosted by John Schmitz, and John has a panel of 3 politicos on: a Republican, a Democrat, and a Libertarian. We have been on the Mouthwash podcast. John has been on our show. I've been on Brad Sowinski's show. We know these people. I got word last night that Randy Howard, of all people, running for office in Henry County, had contacted John and wanted to go on John's show. He doesn't want to go on my show, where we have nearly 3 million views and listens in a 30-day period. He doesn't want to go on the Boss Hogs of Liberty, which is from Henry County, but he wants to go on an Indianapolis podcast. These people don't know him. They won't be voting. So I just want to let you guys know, if you know people from Henry County that wants to hear from the comic relief candidate in Henry County, you need to share this link. Here's what we're going to be doing, folks. We're going to be live streaming, and we're going to be simulcasting the Mouthwash podcast from 9 p.m. tonight until 10 p.m. tonight. They're only on for an hour. Then after that hour, when they go off, we will then be talking about show and everything that goes on. Here's the thing. I don't ever like taking people away from our show and sending them to other places, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight is maybe the one night I will say that, because you can go to the Mouthwash Talk Show hosted by John Schmitz and his panel live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. You can find them on YouTube by going to that link, or you can find them on Facebook by going to that link. Facebook, Kate just put them in the chat. You can go to Facebook or YouTube, and they will be accepting live chatting tonight. So you can go there and you can let them know your thoughts. You can ask Randy questions. the host said that he would put the questions up, and so their second show, they have another show called. They've got a couple different shows on their program, and they've got one that's just wrapping up. It's I think it's Witty Reviews. Yeah, I think it's the Witty Review Show. My good friend Steve Whitmer. You're going to check out the Rob Kendall show tomorrow. Steve Whitmer is actually going to be on his podcast tomorrow, sometime between 10 and noon. We actually are going to be on the show. We're pushing. Hopefully that's something that we can make happen here soon. And we can have Rob come over here. We like to just kind of mix and match and do what we can to spread awareness and defeat corruption. But tonight, we have to take a look at this Mouthwash podcast because John Schmitz and co are going to be having apparently Randy on. And I'm interested. What we have to know. Does he have a driver's license? Has he ever not had a driver's license? Is he suspended? Is he under a hardship license? Is there anything wrong with his license being issued? Has he been suspended? Is he still suspended? Can he currently prove that he has a driver's license? Has he ever been arrested? What is his law enforcement experience? Has he ever served as a police officer? Has he ever served as a SWAT officer? Has he ever served in a jail? Has he ever done any of these things? What does he do that makes us think that he should be the leadership? If you want to comment on their feed, please be nice. We don't want to get anybody banned. We're not trying to be crazy rude. You guys do what you do. I mean, we're all adults here, so you have to live your life, but I'm not certainly censoring anyone. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pull this up here. Thank God they have such a long intro. You think our intro here is long, okay? Let me tell you, their intro there is way crazy long. And we are going to their feed now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be in their chat asking questions. I hope that you're in their chat asking questions. You can go back and forth between our show, their show, and let's make a night of it. We're going to be watching them until 10. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here to talk about all of this. So without further ado, here we go.
Hi, Ed. Welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show, a minty fresh take on life. But yes, we still do politics at times. And yes, this is the political season. We got primaries abounding us. We have people running for this and that and all the other things. We got Trump endorsing people. We got Trump not endorsing people. We got all these things going on. So, hey, why not have some candidates on? And one of the candidates that caught my attention is, let me get my camera adjusted here a little bit, the Chateau de Marseille studio. Welcome. My name is John Schmitz. I'm hosting this fine mouthwash. I got my old throwback mouthwash shirt on. It's a little, this is a schmedium. so it's nice and quaint. So why not, get these candidates going here? And I've been hearing a little stuff going on out in Henry County. So I named the show Oh Henry.
Henry.
Like, what is up? Henry County. Where is it? Well, it's out in Newcastle. Hey, that's pretty. I know where Newcastle is. Actually, I'll be preaching at the Newcastle Correctional Facility on May 14th. Now, I was supposed to go in November, but it got canceled because sometimes things go bad in the prison and you don't get to go. But I'm going back. So our guest is from Howard County, and there's a sheriff out there that I think's had a lot of troubles. I don't know if he's running. I don't know a whole lot about the situation, but caught my eye. So I thought, well, let's have one of the candidates on so he can tell us what is happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to this. I'm going to play Let's see a screen share here. I'm going to play an article about the previous sheriff. Like I said, I don't know if he's running again, but let's see if I can't make this happen here. So there it is. Screen share. Okay, well, hold on. I said, hold on a second. I'll get it done here. Oh, come on.
Investigating the Henry County Sheriff's Office for a while now. And now the sheriff tells us he's not afraid of being.
He's not afraid. He should be. What's happening there, Joel John? That's John, not us.
Of course, it is buffering. I love the internet sometimes.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us.
But as Fox 59 Chief Investigator Steve Brown reports, claims against the sheriff are piling up at an alarming rate.
John Sproles, Henry County Sheriff.
In an hour-long interview in March, Henry County Sheriff John Sproles dismissed the barrage of potential lawsuits stacking up against him and his department.
You know, I'm not concerned about bogus tort claims.
But these two Henry County commissioners, Bobby Plummer and Steve Dellinger, are worried.
It's nerve-wracking.
I'd lie if I said I wasn't concerned.
Here's why. In the 16 months Sproles has been sheriff, he and his department have been named in a dozen tort claims. The latest one, delivered just last week, is a wrongful death claim involving a police chase that ended in a high-speed crash.
Dispatch 1050 Tillotson.
A passenger in the suspect vehicle, 25-year-old Nicholas Willems, was killed. Leading the chase, an unsupervised first-year Henry County deputy. Months before the crash, Travelers Insurance had already had enough, canceling Henry County's liability policy. In a January meeting, the county's insurance agent explained the crux.
I'm muting that for a second. I would direct everyone to their Facebook page, honestly, because they do more on Facebook than YouTube. So I think that John monitors it all. But if you want a question asked of the candidate, you probably will want to go to their Facebook page. Kate just put it in the comment. You can go YouTube or Facebook. Please do Facebook for us. Maybe you could have our Facebook or our YouTube page up and their Facebook page.
Shin bone on that door,
something.
or we most certainly are going to get sued.
Marquette Neal, who needed more than 90 stitches to close the wounds to the back of his knees, filed a claim against the sheriff in October. Now, Henry County did find replacement insurance, but it cost an additional $230,000. The deductible zooming from $25,000 per incident to $150,000.
Is it oversimplified by saying this headache was brought to you by your sheriff?
I would say you're correct at this point.
Some of the things were not his doing, but he is the leader of that department.
This could be a blessing in disguise.
But Sproles charges the commissioners are trying to use the tort claims to damage his credibility.
Commissioner Dellinger, I feel he's had it in for me from day one.
He's taking that as a political opportunity to knock you down.
Oh, it's crystal clear. Him and Commissioner Plummer, crystal clear.
Both Dellinger and Plummer say for them, the friction between them and the sheriff, Sheriff Sproles, is not about politics or personalities. They insist at issue is the large collection of tort claim notices filed against the sheriff and his department and the potential financial consequences to county taxpayers if the claims continue to pile up. Steve Brown, Fox 59 investigates.
Okay. Oh, nope. You're muted, Johnny. See, they have issues too. You're muted. You're muted, Johnny. There's nothing we can do on it.
Oh, I got to unmute my microphone. Sorry about that.
There we go.
Let me repeat myself. So there you go. That's why I think we have some issues out in Henry County, but I did a little digging into the salaries of what the employees would get out there. And the sheriff is the second highest paid county employee. Now, this is 2022 information. It's most recent I get. And that was $122,000 for the sheriff. So you'd think you'd get somebody more competent than that. So we've set the stage for what Henry County looks like out in Newcastle, east of here, out by Richmond in that area. And Muncie, my old alma mater, Ball State, Muncie. I remember Tilson Drive when they said about the guy with the high-speed chase. Sounds about right up there. But I'm going to go ahead and bring the man of the hour on here. Randy Howard, how are you this evening?
Hey, pretty good, John. How are you doing, Daddy?
I'm just the finest frog hair split three ways. So this is ever since I've announced that you've come on the show, it's been a very interesting ride. And I'm thinking, oh, this is just Henry County. This isn't Marion County. We have our own problems here in Marion County that are world renowned, but you guys are trying to knock us off the perch of the worst run county. Just tell our viewers here that may not know you, and I think there's a few people in the chat here that got some questions for you. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get to it.
Sure. I'm running for sheriff to hopefully correct some of these problems that we're having. We are overloaded with tort claims and lawsuits, primarily from the sheriff's department. We have only a lot of lawsuits. We have problems in the jail. Our county is on the verge of bankrupt. The insurance has canceled, and we're pretty much self-insured at this point, is my understanding. And we do have one insurance company that's willing to back us, but the deductible is way over the top. And it's totally unacceptable. And it's going to take a long time before we can regroup and perhaps get a good insurance company with a lower deductible, at least one that's somewhat reasonable, because the ones we have now we're going to have to take it's super expensive.
So I'm going to get to. I want to have some questions out of the chat today, and I see we got we have Tiffany and Brad backstage patiently waiting to get on here. I know they're going to have some questions, but here, this is one I want. This is one.
Sure.
It's about the prosecutor, and I know this is a show about this, but is there some issues with the prosecutor as well out in Henry County?
Well, I know the prosecutor. Actually, I campaigned for him. I like him as a person. As far as with issues with the prosecutor, I don't have any issues with the prosecutor or the deputy prosecutors at that. I do feel and wish that there was a little bit more aggression out of that office. And it's my understanding that he's not going to be running again this term. So we've got.
He is not running. It's not like he won't be.
Seeking the office of the prosecutor.
So you have sheriff and prosecutor. What else is on the ballot for Henry County residents?
We have the sheriff, just about almost all county positions, from trustee all the way to there's several different offices running. It's quite a bit long list. I guess there's more than 100 and some people running for the offices in this county.
Yeah, it seems to be stirred. It seems to be stirred up there. So let's get to it. There's some questions in here, but I want to go ahead and bring on Brad and Tiffany. Here we go. How's everybody doing here? Let's get the people in the right. I love this thing. It is sometimes StreamYard is just so awesome.
I'm excited. I'm looking at the chat and I think that I might need to go make popcorn.
Yeah, there's definitely Randy. I don't know what you've done out there, but you hit the hornet's nest.
Tiffany and Brad.
Good to see you, Randy. Thanks for being on the show. You are a very brave man, because there's lots of people who want to talk to you and ask questions. And I do think this is going to be a popular kind of show.
I don't think I have to do anything.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to be very patient tonight. We have a delay on your end. So we're going to have to be, and we're really good at talking over each other. It's not really our fault. It's just because of this format that we have. So we'll have
it's Tiffany's fault.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Don't even get it started already, Brad.
Really, Brad?
Don't
really,
start
Brad?
nothing.
I think I missed last week, Brad. I got a lot of Brad love to give.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're acting out because you didn't get attention.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's. I'm
All
glad
right,
you
you
noticed.
two. Don't make me have to
that's
mute
good.
you. Don't make me have to mute you. So, okay, let's get to it. I want you guys to ask some questions first. Now, Brad, are you in? You're not in Henry County.
No, I'm in Madison.
Madison, but it looks like
it's not that far away. And like
Delaware County,
Madison, Delaware, and Henry all kind of.
All the
I
same.
mean, I feel like they're all.
So we'll start with you since you're sort of a homer. We'll start with you with a question or a comment or a. Did you know that Henry County was all jacked up like this?
It's been happening over time because that story that you shared was from 2024, right? Not.
Yeah, it's a couple years old.
But I mean, it's still
Yes,
the same sheriff that
it
is in
is.
office right now, right? Okay. Well, Randy, thanks for coming on. I guess why would you want the position, and what makes you qualified, and what why you think you're the man for the job?
Here we go.
Okay, well, those are some good questions, and be glad to answer them. I'm running for sheriff because I want to clean up this mess. Now, granted, I have put a target on my back and have been a target for the last 2 weeks against a pretty before, but sometimes it can get pretty dirty, and
it's not dirty.
I'm honored to be on the show to add clarity to these things. I think I bring a lot to the table with my background and my history. I've got 10 years correctional experience. I know that the biggest hurdle that I'm going to have is trying to get our insurance premium
10 years correctional service.
lower, and I think that's going to take some time. There's some training that needs to be done, and I'm not really going to keep our merit board busy. A sheriff in this county cannot fire a merit deputy, but what he can do is take him for the merit board and use the merit board to take the appropriate actions. So I know that's going to happen, and I would like to build on what we've got. That we have some very good officers, but we have some, to be honest with you, that we kind of need to address. And so if I was to get elected, my first week would be very interesting.
So there's going to be probably a few meetings that week. Okay, so one of the questions,
kind of,
yeah, your internet connection's not the best, and like I said, sometimes this format works really well, and other times they're not. So you're cutting out a little bit, but I think we got the gist of what it was. Before we go to you, Tiffany, I want to address this one because it seems to be coming up quite a bit on here. And this, and like I said, I don't follow you on Facebook. I don't know a lot, but this one about blocking people on Facebook or social media, maybe that's something that you could address.
Absolutely. I run a page, Henry County, Indiana, and currently we have about 13,500 people on that page, which is a lot. It's a very busy page for Henry County. On that page, not everybody acts right, and we have a zero tolerance policy against bullying, against people just being mean to each other. And if people brings things to our attention, we look at it, and we won't put up with it. We will not run a bully page. It's just not going to happen. And so there are some people that's unhappy with that. I'm sorry, but they earned it, and that's the way it's going to be.
Okay, so before you go, Tiffany, I want to hand out an olive branch on here. So if you're in the chat and you've been blocked, I want you to get your pinky out and put it together and say, "I promise not to bully anymore." And Randy, would you unblock them and give them another chance?
If they're in this chat, well, yeah, I've given people a second chance, and you know what? It comes back and bites me right in the behind.
How about a third chance?
I would love to. Actually, to be honest with you, I'd love to unblock everybody if they would just behave. And
all right, let's do this. let's do this. I want you to pull a Steve Whitmer and go unblock every single body and then report back to me. You have my phone number. Report back to me and see. I'm telling you, this is how you nip some of this stuff. Like Barney Fife used to say, he was a sheriff or something, a deputy. You say, nip it, unblock them all, and see what happens, and then report to me. I will pass along to our loyal viewers what that is, because we got to have some action items here on this show. So, Tiffany, go ahead with your questioning, ma'am.
I think you're very inspirational. I would love to take you up with an opportunity, but I'm afraid it's just going to be chaos if we did that.
Wow, hey, I'll tell you, I was going to say, if you can't handle chaos, maybe you shouldn't be sheriff. I'm calling you out now on unblocking these people.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Just do it. Come on, just say you're going to do it. Do it. You could go back to blocking if they do.
I really appreciate
this show, and you've been blocked, and you get unblocked. I'm gonna come for you. If you come out there and you start bullying and acting a fool, I'm coming for you. I'm not that. I'm a lot of barking and no biting.
What I'll ask him to do then is send a message to one of the other administrators or moderators, because I can't see it, and I block them on my personal page and on the Henry County page. But if they don't behave, I'm not going to have people picking on each other and bullying each other. Just not going to put up with it. But
all right, well, give him another chance. Give him another chance. Let's see if there's anybody in here that's that can act not a fool. So anyway, hey folks, let's have a little civility. We're here at the Mouthwash Show.
Let's get some other questions. Let's come on. Let's roll. Let's roll. We got a lot of questions we got to get to. So what about his 10-year training? Where did he serve 10 years as a law enforcement officer?
You're cutting in and out, and if you already covered this, thank you for revisiting it for me. Can you talk about your background in law enforcement? Because one of the questions asked a little bit about your background.
My background. Okay. One, I'll profess I have never been a police officer, so I want to make that very clear. But to be a sheriff in Indiana, you do not have to be a police officer. Any citizen can run for the office of sheriff. But my background is kind of unique in the sense that I have 10 years correctional experience. I've trained a lot of police officers over the years. As a matter of fact, I've even trained some of the staff in the past, quite a few years back, at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield.
Jesus, he's saying it. So we don't even need to be asked. He's saying it.
The numerous training.
Where did he serve as a?
In my contacts in the law enforcement world, I think it really helped our department here, and we need a lot of help here.
And when?
All right. Here we got this one. This is from Troy Chester. Who taught you to be a cop, Randy? Who's your mentor?
Folks. We got to start asking questions to get the answers. He's obviously not been taught to be a cop. He's saying that.
Goes, I got two good mentors. A guy named Jim Maddox in Indianapolis. He owns United Kippo Karate School. He's a good friend of mine.
Karate school. There we go.
Who's internationally known in the law enforcement training realm. His name is Joe Trincali. Those two are my mentors.
Yeah.
All right.
Where did he serve?
Here's another question. Did you serve as a corrections officer at any time?
Yes, for a period of 10 years. I've worked in medium security facilities, minimum security facilities, and even behind the wall at the Pendleton Reformatory.
Pendleton. Oh, I remember working up there. I did the Atlas cold storage, and when we were building that.
Where?
Sorry about that. This connection is delayed. But as I was working on the Atlas cold storage, probably 15, 20 years ago, I don't know, it was a while ago. We could see the wall to Pendleton, and we kept thinking one day we're going to see somebody escaping, coming over the wall, but we didn't. So, that's a pretty formative.
I never saw anything like that here.
Yeah. So
it is. It's very unique. There's a lot of history.
So let's see. Okay, here's one. I did see that there was some questions. I saw that you had people asking questions and you had to answer some stuff. It's about your license. Will you ever have a suspended license or anything like this? And well, I'll tell you what, you got some people here who have a lot of questions. That's for sure.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. And I've owned this and put this forth in 2016, I believe it was. I got a ticket and I went to the courthouse to pay it, and I was late. I was like 2-3 minutes late, and they sent some paperwork to the state, and my license got suspended. At that time, they suspended. So I got pulled over, and it just like every time I ran, I was being pulled over. So I ended up hiring a good lawyer out of Indianapolis to get this squared away. I owned it, I paid it, and owned up to it. But other than that, other than maybe a minor speeding ticket, that's about it.
We all know how you cops like to drive fast. Oh, you're not really a cop, but anyway, law enforcement, they sometimes go flying by, and the joke is they're late to get the donuts. So that's just me. Don't hate me for it. Hey, Brad, you guys jump in with some other questions here. I'm sort of reading the chat a little bit to see.
So here's one from Troy Chester that came in at 9:24. I guess it's something about the Pendleton prison.
Yeah, here we go. Did Randy ever see a man buried alive at Pendleton prison?
I think it's burned.
Oh, burned alive. Okay, that's something alive. I
never have. No. And burr alive. Yeah, I see the question. No, I never don't want to, but yes, never have seen it.
Good.
Let's talk about the other folks that are running. There's 5 others besides yourself running for sheriff.
Wow.
And then what? I know. Yeah, you think you got it bad, Tiffany. You only have 3 others, or maybe more. I don't know, in the primary. But what and what is the current salary? Because the best I could dig up, is it actually $122,000 for sheriff in Henry County?
It's pretty good.
Yes, that's my understanding. That it is about that wage, about 120.
Now, real quick, go through the sheriff's responsibilities. I know that sheriffs are they go out and serve warrants and all that things, and they have assistants and all that. Go through what a day or a week of the sheriff would look like.
John, you're cutting out. I couldn't understand you for some reason.
Okay,
Jesus.
Go ahead and give us what the sheriff's responsibilities are, and give us what you think an average day or a week would look like for the sheriff in Henry County.
Well, you never know what's going to happen on the evening of the second shift, because sheriffs generally work days, but in most counties. But an average day, of course, I would want to be briefed on what's taking place every day, or even during the shifts at that. I should be. And, coming in, and I want to become familiar with the staff that works there and get to know some of the deputies better. I know there's some that think I'm going to be like a hatchet man or come in with that disposition. Not necessarily true, but there's a few that we're going to have a serious chat if I was to get in there. An average day, I'd want to know what's going on in the jail, and I'd probably be seen going through the jail and talking to the staff and getting a good grip there, and then finding out what's going on with the road.
Yeah, he has not a clue. He doesn't know what's going on.
Our supervisors on the road, and my job is to lead, guide, direct, teach, and inspire these guys. That would be my job, and so I would be looking to see what I need to do to do that. And then I want to review the policies. So I'll be doing a lot of reading probably the first few days. becoming familiar with the policies and then maybe even making some changes.
Okay, so we have
that's the reason
we're going to be for.
Here's one from Evante 5275. Randy, do you think you'll be able to rebuild the bridge between the sheriff's office and the community?
Absolutely. FAFO.
I think it's going to take some work. I think absolutely. I think with good, strong leadership and some good community programs, I think that can happen. For anybody to say there's not been in certain circles a we versus them mentality that's developed, it's there, and there's no doubt about it. And but there is certain where that don't exist, but there's work to be done, without a doubt.
So here's now, is the current sheriff running again?
Sproles?
Yeah.
I guess he is.
The current sheriff is running again. I've not seen a lot of activity out of him as far as signs goes. Maybe he's working it in different parts of the county, but at least in Newcastle, the county seat, not a lot. I've seen a couple signs. That's about it. But the other guys, I admire them. They're working hard. They're out there trying to earn it, and kudos to them.
So Tiffany, I see your wheels turning.
Working hard.
Yeah, it looks like there's a couple Democrats running, but 6 Republicans. So Tiffany, I see your wheels turning. I heard some questions.
That wants a job like this in these circumstances.
So, I guess my questions are,
come on.
So you said in your first week, you're probably going to spend a lot of time reading. One of the questions in the chat was, do you have to, by statute, is there any type of training you have to complete in the first 6 months to a year to be the sheriff? Because I know in the coroner's office, you don't have to be a doctor to be a coroner. You just have to attain certification.
Right. There is my understanding, don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, but I do believe that I know that the sheriff has to go to the academy at least for a couple of weeks. And I don't know the entire details on that because I'm not there, but if that's what's required, I'll go. I'm sure the state would require
Delaware County advocate. It's Henry, so Bill knows.
So, I love your passion for the job. And I would encourage you to knock out some of this stuff ahead of time, like some of the training, just so you're just as prepared as possible. So coming in without a law enforcement background, how will you build your credibility with the team that you'll be overseeing?
Yes, he did.
I think realizing and valuing what they can bring to the table and having those sit down conversations with each other and learning and developing and growing. I won't know everything, and I'm not going to.
It's a little bit more advanced than that, even, Rachel.
Like I do, especially in the beginning.
In order not only to carry a gun, he can carry a gun as a human being. He couldn't for the sheriff's department under their insurance.
And John,
so we'll be able to drive a car.
That will be my final.
He would be able to make
an
arrests.
He's spooling quite a bit. I don't know if you heard any of that.
Yeah. We're getting the gist of it. It's just a little difficult with the delay. So,
yeah. And John, that will be my final question because I want to defer to the people in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes, let's defer to the people in the chat.
So
thank God.
Get the people there. This is and I don't know who all's in there. I know we have a few more viewers than normal on here, so I know that everybody is. It seems like most of the people are new faces to me, so I'll do my best to do that. Here's one for you from Diane. How will you get the budget under control and still provide adequate services?
If we can start blasting the chat with, we got to know this. When did he teach at the Law Enforcement Academy?
Budget is fine.
When did he teach there? What did he teach?
It's my understanding that the sheriff's department's budget is around $10 million. That's a lot of money.
What corrections office? What jails did he work in?
Yeah.
When did he work there? And who were his supervisors? These legitimate questions that I need to have answered because I'm tracking them down. I'm going to contact all these places and follow up because listen right now. So please, let's spam the chat. When did he work at ILEA? How long did he work there? What did he teach? Who asked him to work there?
I'm questionable about some things, but I know that the sheriff and his assistants got 2 brand new Tahoes. Those are pretty darn expensive vehicles. And I have every intention on taking those.
He's also told people that he's worked in SWAT situations. What SWAT situations did he work?
The best ones. And but I think
no, you can't ask here, folks. You got to ask on their channel, not here. You got to go to Mouthwash channel.
I jump in hands on and learn from him. I won't be abusive with the funds and be very open.
Adam Kent, I'm fully aware of that. I'm wanting him to answer this because these are things that he said on the record.
Put me in charge. Cut me loose. Let me do this.
Yep. So I'm giving you the 5-minute warning because Lucy is en route. So she had she's got 10 kids, and I think something started tonight. Archery. One of them thinks it's Robin Hood, and that they're going to shoot arrows into apples on people's heads.
Yeah, this dude is a complete ass clown. I'm fully aware. This guy is a complete idiot.
Here. And this one's sort of a little bit off the beaten path here. Hold on, let me get back to it here. Oh, it's about age. And me being, we're about the same age. So this is a boomer question here. Okay. At age, and it looks like Eric might be about our age as well. So at age 65, Randy would be the oldest first-term sheriff in Indiana history. Will age be a factor if elected? I think this one's an easy one.
I think we need some gray heads, John. I think we need some gray heads and their wisdom that comes along with it. And also the seasoned in life.
Dear Lord.
Age would not be an issue with me being able to be a proficient sheriff at that.
Right. Okay, so let's see. Wow, they're really coming on to the thing. With the different
I guess how, just to a typical voter, how would you sorry, my cat's an idiot.
I've texted Brad. I don't know that Brad's seen the text.
Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
See, sidebar. That's why I didn't even say anything earlier.
I didn't say that.
No. But so if they see somebody with law enforcement experience versus somebody without it, how do you kind of overcome that hurdle with the voter if they ask that question?
Well, that's a tough question because I think some people may not understand the office of the sheriff. The office of the sheriff is more administrative. He's not really a road deputy.
Ronnie Williams, great question.
In that sense, and I think some folks are under the perception that you have to be out on the road.
Kate, great question.
The sheriff can bring a lot of resources.
Biggie Smalls, great question.
And develop and help others do that exact same thing. As far as trying to change somebody's mind, there's folks that no matter what I say on this program or otherwise, that I would ever be able to get them on board. There's others that would say, hey, well, good job. I was the leader of the Guardian Angels. I don't know if you ever heard of them in Indianapolis. It was for 3 years, and it was created by Curtis Leawood in New York in 1979. It was a crime fighting group, citizens crime fighting group. And first, when we started, the whole city of Indianapolis, I felt like was against me and IMPD. But after the first year in working that program and interacting with people and developing community programs within our group, we was well embraced by the community in Indianapolis. I think they was under the impression that we was going to be a bunch of thugs going out trying to fight, and that simply wasn't the case. We interviewed and screened and got good quality people, and I think I think that made a difference. And I think that's what's going to maybe have to happen in this sheriff's department.
Okay, so here's another question from Alan Neal. If elected, will there be any changes within the jail as far as staffing or training? It would be a shame for more lives to be lost, because I guess there's been some tragedies at the jail. Would you like to answer that question and talk about that?
Well, yes, I absolutely will. There's been some people that was incarcerated that has lost their life, more than one. As a matter of fact, I know of two that's just not came out to the public yet. And to me, this
is what he always does, folks.
That's wrong. It just shouldn't happen. And
I know information that nobody else knows.
Each one, I will tell you, as of the latest one that involved a fella that I'm going to call for some suspensions. I'm going to call for an outside investigation, and I'm going to call for a fair investigation. There has been some folks that have requested that, and the sheriff has shut them down. They have also asked the Indiana Police to assist in an investigation, to look into it, and have been turned away by the state police, and actually been referred back to the sheriff. Thing of this magnitude, especially involving the death, should have an outside source doing these investigations. And that would happen if I got in office. I guarantee you that I would request some outside sources through either the Attorney General's office or the Indiana State Police to look into this matter, and let's bring justice if it needs to happen. But let's make wrongs right if we need to do that as well.
Okay, that's a good answer there. We have Lucy here. Lucy, to catch you up to speed, we have Randy Howard running for Henry County Sheriff. The chat has been, I can't even hardly read it fast enough. It's like the Wall Street ticker.
Right.
It is like it's and I love that
read the one at 9:40 about Randy, there's a lot of questions about your background,
right,
as a correction officer and your supervisor.
I'm not putting anything away. Nothing is refrigerated.
Really? I'm on live. Like, I'm not putting anything away.
Lucy's here 3 minutes.
Nothing's refrigerated.
So what I want to do,
I have 10 kids, Randy, so it could all happen here. And
who's going to be Robin Hood? And shoot
that's what she said. That's what he said. You have 10.
You were at archery practice.
Nice to meet you, Lucy, by the way.
Let's do this.
I have some hard
lot of
questions.
people. We have a lot of people in the chat that want to know what your background is. Randy, I know you talked about a social media page. I think that the best thing to do for that, because this is not really the format to be able to do that. I know that people want to check it out. It looks like to me that they want to fact check. They want to fact check.
He's not gonna. You got to do it here.
Put these times and dates and on your social media, so your people can do their research. Because I love that the fact that everyone in Henry County, it seems, is on this podcast tonight, and they're concerned. And they're concerned with their county, and they want to have a good sheriff. I think they're very tired of what's going on. So I would say that's good. And then remember, you got to unblock all these people, or it's not going to matter. So you got to unblock them, put up your credentials, and see what happens. I mean, if you're going to be sheriff, you got to be, put that tough chin on and get it done. So,
Randy, I have a question. What's your current line of work?
There you go. My current line of work, I own a construction company. We do mainly residential. We can do some commercial, but it's a construction company. That's my main living right there.
Okay, I got some questions. I listened to the first half an hour, and I can see that there's definitely some struggle with the delay. So Randy, I'm hoping you can hear me. The first thing that I want to say to the people in the chat is, clearly you guys are local. I'm not, so I'm going to say some things that probably are not going to be accurate. So just go with it, because I don't know Randy personally. I don't know him in what you guys might be having a problem with. But I am going to guess that Sproles, the current sheriff, right, has been through all this training.
Yes.
He's been LEO. He's been your oppressor. So why don't you give a guy a chance, maybe, who hasn't actually been trained to oppress you? And maybe he's he's been through some things in his life where he was on the other side. So let me start you out with a kind of a litmus test, Randy. The litmus test would be qualified immunity. Would you support a measure to remove qualified immunity from the Henry County sheriffs?
Ooh, didn't see that one coming.
Not like Henry County sheriffs, I think there's times when qualified immunity shouldn't apply, especially if they've done a criminal act or led something up to.
Okay, so second question, if you're going to agree that people should be responsible regardless of the costume or uniform that they wear, that they should be responsible for their actions and therefore shouldn't have qualified immunity, then the next would be, would you support the idea,
and I
don't even know if this could ever get
I
done.
understand why they have
Jesus.
Oh, we do. That all cut out. We missed every
Yeah.
single thing. And Brad went for the Bud Light break, so he's back.
I'm getting ready to have
Yeah,
to.
so we didn't hear any of that, but just off
Cocaine.
the top of your head, would you support the idea?
Yes.
That a lot of
Me too,
citizens like
Delaware
myself
County
support
advocate.
and champion the idea that not only should law enforcement officers not have qualified immunity,
Oh my,
but
we've
in
only got
addition
15
to
minutes
that,
left.
behavior should be regulated by the ultimate feedback being that any judgments coming from a court, monetary judgments, should be taken out of the retirement fund. And therefore reduce the retirement fund for all the officers, and therefore they could start keeping each other in check. Because right now, as I see it, there's very little incentive to be the person that turns in the bad guys. And to me, they're always like, there's always a couple of bad apples in the barrel. You either get rid of the bad apples or you're all bad.
I'm not so sure I agree with necessarily dipping into the retirement funds of those who are innocent as police officers. I do think, like you mentioned, there are some bad apples. I think about every department may have a few of those. I do think that here's my thinking on this, when a good cop turns a blind eye to a bad cop and they cover each other, not only does it compromise the thin blue line, but it also makes that good cop a bad cop. I'll give you an example. We had a sheriff that put on a hat, a helmet, put on a vest.
Oh.
John May, I think I sent you this picture where he's blasting a guy in a maximum security cell who probably has mental issues, probably needed help, outside of being blasted repeatedly with a beanbag gun. And you know what? If you look at that picture, you're going to see there's 4 or 5 guys standing around, not saying anything, not doing anything, not coming up and saying, Sheriff, can we talk? Can we talk over here a little bit? And calling him away from the situation. And not one of them had a helmet on. Not one of them had a vest on. They stood around and watched. That is a problem.
See if I can get the right one up here. Yeah. So Amanda says, absolutely. If one doesn't speak up, they're just all as guilty. So,
okay, I got a constitutional rights question for you, Randy. Do you believe and support the Constitution and all of the rights that are enumerated for the people?
I'm not able to hear anything. So,
okay. Do you support all of the rights?
Can somebody else ask
that are
it?
enumerated in the Constitution for people? And do you support the Constitution itself? Will you abide by the Constitution and support people individual rights?
absolutely. The Constitution is the law. It is a law. It's not just word. I'm a big Second Amendment person. And so,
me too. That's why my kid was at
absolutely not.
we're all about the sporting. So
Second Amendment, that doesn't, shooting arrows isn't Second Amendment.
Depends on who's shooting them.
This show is reaching an all-time low that arrows are in the Second Amendment, but I guess they are. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Randy, that brings up something that's really interesting, and we've seen some cases around our country about this. Specifically, it's my understanding that the sheriff is actually the highest law of the land inside that county, and that you
That's
can
not
actually
actually
stand
it's
up and block
prosecutor.
federal agents from coming into your county. So if you had federal agents that were coming in to say, I don't
Tim.
know, drag off an Amish farmer because he made some jewel weed salve, or maybe they were selling raw milk, would you put yourself and in your
Oh,
position
God, raw
between
milk.
them and
I
the
mean,
feds
that's
and protect the local people of your county from the federal government?
Let me answer it in two different ways. If they're federal officers, then that's there's two different situations. Okay, I'm going to bring up ICE. Then I'll give your situation. If the federal officers within the realm of the law, I have to support that, and I would support that. But if they're outside the realm of the law, and I'm talking about the Constitution as well, I won't support that. Now, if we talk about ICE, and they actually have been the center of a lot of controversy in our nation, as you're probably aware of. But they are law enforcement officers, and I think there's times where folks have put themselves in harm's way of the officers trying to do their job. And I think they have gotten a bad rap from a PR perspective, from a media perspective, because they seem to twist the narratives of the story of what happens, and you really have a hard time dissecting what is the truth and what isn't. ICE is they're officers too, and so I'd have to support them in their endeavor here in the state of Indiana and in our county, if they came to our county, because their job is to remove those that are here illegally, in quote unquote illegally. That may be an unpopular thing to say, but the law is the law.
Well, at some point, I'm not.
Laws would have been enforced in the beginning.
I'm not even going to get to the immigrant thing, because that gets into a 14th Amendment Dred Scott thing, and I don't think we can do that in 9 minutes. But let me be fair to ask you this question. You said you would uphold the Constitution, take you at your word. The Constitution,
sure.
The entire thing about the Constitution is to put a constraint upon the federal government and to make sure that the federal government's powers are extremely limited. If you go back to the 9th and 10th Amendments, specifically only powers that are spelled out, that are enumerated, are the ones that the federal government has. Even though they've done all this encroachment, it's certainly unconstitutional. And then the 10th Amendment recognizes that the state is the one who actually has the supreme rights. So my question for you is, thinking about those issues, specifically around the Bill of Rights, 9th Amendments, have you anticipated how you can protect the citizens of Henry County from federal encroachment? And if you have thought of what kind of things do you think you might have to do to protect them?
You're the first one to ask me this question, so I really haven't given it a lot of thought, but I will tell you my position on this.
Great question.
I have to follow the law. And if I have to respond in those areas, I'm hoping that I could have dialogue with these folks and work things out the right way on behalf of the constituents and the community that I represent. Whether it be through the courts,
come on, let's rock and roll.
I would have to take a stand for the citizens.
Mm-hmm. So when you say take a stand for the citizens, can you elaborate on what taking a stand for the citizen means?
I knew you'd be specific.
Great
about
question,
that.
Troy.
As far as like, that's a tough situation to deal with for any sheriff or any person. Do you think I'm not gonna go out and pull guns and point like the Wild West was years ago when there were people had differences? But I think there's hopefully an avenue where we could work together for a proper resolution. We're gonna have to start off by talking. If they come here guns and blazing and all that stuff and they're violating the law, they're gonna have a problem with me. So you're a sheriff, and I won't sit back and let it happen. My job is to serve and protect, and keep that in mind, protect.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking about background, and I know we can't cover it in 7 more minutes. But do you have a website? Like I have a website, lucybrenton.com, where I put my biography on there. And so people know who they're dealing with. They know about my background in finance, and that I've got all these kids and stuff. And then I regularly add to that website. So could you make a commitment tonight to go put your resume online and then put that link up?
Yes, I would be happy to do that. I will tell you that I have not released my full background, not even on this show, but I wanted to save a lot of this for this show, for this very purpose, to tell a little bit about, my background and what I can bring to the table.
Well, everybody seems to want to know about your
I have every
teaching.
intention on releasing.
So let's get you on the record,
I,
Randy. I mean, this is a serious. I mean, you're standing up. You want a job that pays, $122,000 a year. You're taking a position that you are competent to do so based on, and by the way, I love the fact that you haven't been raised in law enforcement, because the people that have are just terrible people, mostly. But let's get you on the record. What did you do when you were at ILEA, Indiana Law Enforcement Academy? What did you teach? And what was your authority and education yourself in order to be able to convey correct information?
Start again.
He's frozen.
All I heard was let's get to record. That's all I heard.
Okay. So
well, we can put it in the show notes. So let's just kind of go for the show notes. Randy, how many? Can I ask you how old you are, Randy?
No, no one gives a shit how old he is.
Getting old. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Hey, I'm 54. I will gladly say
no one gives a shit.
Gotcha.
How old
so you've been working for about 45 years. Can you take us like 5 years at a time? Like, hey, in my 20s I did this, and then in about 1980 when I was 30 I did this, and just kind of take us through that. Like maybe every 5 years, just kind of give us a quick resume.
Yes.
I am sorry, but I am only hearing just portions of what you're saying.
John.
You see, I'm sorry.
Can you tell us your background?
Yeah, my background is, like I mentioned, I worked for the Department of Correction for 10 years.
1 second. In 5 years.
I worked on the Trans-Alaska Pipeline during the Gulf War in 1991, protecting the pipeline. 5 years?
Protecting the pipeline?
Like every 5 years.
5 years, I mainly done correctional work.
No, she was asking in 5 year increments.
Yeah, like from 1980. Okay, so I'll go.
I can't hear you.
Okay, so I will go first. I will model this, Randy. I will go first. I graduated from high school in 1989.
Of my history, if that helps.
Yeah, and then I went into finance. I worked as a mortgage broker starting in 1996, and then I started investing in real estate.
I'm not hearing anything anybody's saying.
Yeah, I think you've got like the second worst connection that we've ever had.
Yeah. Do we? Yeah.
He has
Randy, do this. Can you
hearing?
Go out
Yes.
and come back in, and I'll let you back in. We're going to run a little long tonight because Lucy's got some great questions.
Let's run it long.
So go ahead and log out and then come back in.
Let me come on.
Okay.
Yeah, log out and then come back in.
I'm gonna go get my IT guy and get him in here and see if he can help me. Because
okay, we'll do conspiracy theory while you're gone. Okay.
Okay.
So here you go.
Hey y'all, it's time for the conspiracy theory, so you better get your tinfoil hat out and let's see what's going on this week.
All right, boy, it is so frustrating because this was really, you guys are doing some good questions and the chat is going, so everybody
was doing,
I mean, it's like, so let's do the conspiracy real quick and see what's up, because I think he's on his iPhone and he must have like a Galaxy 8 like I have that doesn't work very well. So I'm going to start with the conspiracy theory, and mine is that the shaving cream industry and the razor industry are in cahoots. Now I'll tell you why. That's how I figured this out. I did a lot of research on this, and Tiffany, you're gonna enjoy this. So when I go on vacation or whatever, I don't take the shaving cream. I just use the soap. Make a little soap on there, save it up. Well, I get these disposable razors from Kroger. You can get like 400 of them for $3. And usually when I use shaving cream, they last for about a week. But when I use the soap, they last for like 3 weeks. So bear with me on this. I think they put corrosive stuff in that shaving cream so it eats up your razor faster. So you got to buy more razors. I mean, are you with me on this?
Shave, so.
Yeah, Brad.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Are you back to work? Or are you still like
No, that was just. But that was
this is my playoff beard of unemployment.
I absolutely agree with you, Bruce, man. And I loved
we want to talk
Lucy's
real
questions.
Oh, well, here you go.
But
you want to talk
I'll
about
be really
real
honest.
conspiracies? Lucy, what you got? I know you always got a real conspiracy.
That's nonsense.
Well, wait, because I have one about President Trump saying that we received a mighty.
Can you mute this?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Yeah, go ahead, Kate.
He protected the pipeline?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we really need to get him back in here. We can continue on hearing what he did. The dude doesn't know how to hold a gun. What is he talking about?
And I get the libertarian stance on stuff. I want somebody who's going to protect the Constitution too. However, right now, what Henry County needs is someone who has at least a modicum of experience to help dig them out of that damn hole that Sproles has dug them into with his complete and total lack of risk management.
Right. And because he lacks experience.
Yes.
Because he lacks experience. That's why I say Randy. I mean, I don't look, it's a joke, but I'm not joking. Randy and Sproles are the same coin. They're two sides of the same coin. I exactly think that's right, Biggie Smalls. I think there's some delay, obviously. I think what we're seeing, there's delay. There's delay between the host, and they normally don't have problems, but I think that he was playing that up. I bet he doesn't return. What's the money? Over and under on him not returning. I'm going to text him.
I'll give you 30-1.
Return, Randy.
He talks about a construction business. I can't find one.
Yeah, right.
In Indiana business search. I found one that he did have that was administratively dissolved, which means he didn't fill out the paperwork.
I just text him to return. We have some real questions. Let me see if they're talking. I don't know.
Present. And why the hell would Iran give us a present?
That's why I asked. Is it?
Yeah.
Epstein Prairie is what they got coming on there. So we got Randy back. Let's try this again.
All right, here we go. Thank God.
He's laughing at that. Randy, are you there? Can you hear us, Randy?
Hey, sorry about that. I got my partner here helping me out. And sorry, Lucy, I'm sorry, but you was cutting out pretty bad. But let's try it again if you want.
We're good now.
Go,
Let's
Lucy, go. They can't
Yeah.
wait.
So what everybody wants in the chat is they want your resume. So I propose that you do that in like 5 minutes. Yeah. Just give it to us verbal real quick. Like, what were you doing in 90, 95, 2000 and on?
Okay, 1991, I worked in the Trans-Alaska Pipeline, protecting the pipeline during the Gulf War. I worked there for about a year. It was a great job. I loved it. Beautiful area up there. There was a $250,000 bounty on our heads from Saddam Hussein. For us that could get, but it was a good job. It had a lot of responsibility, security for the pipeline, and that was our shit there. I just patrol area. Arctic Circle is, and there's certain things I won't talk about. Actually, I think I was assigned some paperwork that I probably wouldn't talk about.
Who was your employer?
So from there, then I came back and I went to work in a factory, and that wasn't for me. And I left that and started a construction company. I'm sorry, Lucy?
Yeah, I was just wondering who your employer was. I mean, were you like a mercenary? Were you working for, the Army? Were you enlisted? I mean, what brought you up to Alaska? And then how did that segue into your correctional officer experience?
Because he just skipped over that.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. This is frustrating. You're just parts of you I'm hearing.
Okay, I don't know I think it's your connection, but I'm going to take my headphones out and see. Where did you work as a corrections officer?
Someone else ask him.
I heard as a correctional officer is all I heard.
Yeah, where and when did you work as a corrections officer?
Well, I started working at the Westville Work Release Center in Westville, Indiana. I worked at the Work Release Center while I was there.
When?
I became a member of the Westville Correctional Facility SWAT and was a member doing. Can you hear me at all?
Can you turn your camera off and just go audio only?
Yeah, because your connection is just not working. And in fact,
let's try that.
Can you hear us now, Randy? Can you hear us now?
I can, yes. I'm sorry, I only heard bits and pieces. You want to try again? Yes.
We're just trying to figure out your resume. Where did you work and when did you work there? So everybody is really curious about your corrections experience. And then there is a question on the screen that we would specifically like you to answer, which is when did you work at ILEA and what course did you teach?
Can you pull that, make it larger, please?
10:06 is funny.
I think we're going to set a record for the chat tonight. I know we've had some pretty extensive chats, but this one may go the distance.
Dude.
I can't even read them all.
When did you work at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy and courses did you teach?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear me, but I see the question, so I'll answer that question.
Let's do it.
The question is, when did he work at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy? And the courses did he teach? I've never been an employee at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy.
Ding, ding,
I
ding.
was there as a guest instructor. I was an intermediate instructor in what's called a PR-24. PR-24 is a 24-inch nightstick with a handle on it. You may have seen some police officers carry those. As an intermediate instructor, I was able to train and certify even their staff in the uses and concepts of the baton, and also so they could train others to be instructors as well. So I certified them as instructors. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but
yeah, that's really definitely. And I think now, are you on your iPhone? Are you on your iPhone?
Actually, I'm on a laptop.
Okay, that's what do you have an iPhone? If you have an iPhone,
no, I don't.
Okay, I was going to say sometimes that's better. Usually, we'll get this on an old iPhone. We'll get this delay that causes a problem. So I mean, even our chat, our private chat is pretty is pretty active. So I think one of the questions that I think a lot of folks are having is knowing these dates on different things. So let me get back down here to where that question is.
Randy, I'm just going to be really, really direct with you because you have people in your community that are concerned. And so the best advice I can give you as somebody who's run for office before is to directly answer the questions that we've asked, which are super simple. Exactly where did you work and when did you work there? That's what they want on the record. And you're not going to win any hearts and minds in your county if you can't give a straight answer as to where you worked and when.
Yeah. And I would say unblocking the people that are blocked, whether you, and then dealing with it.
This did not go the way.
It seems like that's sucking all the oxygen out of the room. I think I think you really have good intentions to do this sheriff's job. And I think folks want to know, and I don't think they're being too, there's been a couple mean comments in there, but hey, you know what? If you can't take mean comments, you're in the wrong business because Tiffany, Brad, we've all been into this thing. I've had so much stuff said about me that So I would say Lucy's advice, my advice about unblocking, and I think that would clear up a lot of things. And you might win a few of these people over.
Once you're an elected official, you're going to have social media that you can't block for people. And if you do, you can get in trouble. So, once you have, constituents or people that you represent. So it seems to me, and like I said, Randy, like I completely love the idea of somebody that hasn't been raised in the culture of thin blue line, qualified immunity, shoot somebody's dog and get away with it, steal babies out of the hands of their mamas and go through CPS and get them sex trafficked. I mean, I'd love somebody that doesn't have experience in those areas, which you clearly don't. But there's a problem if people are asking.
I'm not even okay with that.
Your experience,
in
I'm not hearing it. So I'm going to shut up.
That is
so that you can explain to the nice folks here and put your resume on the record.
Talking for an elected official. He's not an elected official. He's a deal guy, but
I can't hear.
He can't hear any of the good advice. All right. Well, this has been fun.
I think we need to get Steve Jobs on the phone. Oh, we can't get him. Wozniak. Maybe we can get him on the phone to help with this. So here's one. Here's some advice that Indy Spanglish. Now, Jerry's been around the block.
Don't tell him this.
He's got a few haters, and he knows how to handle them. He says, don't block them, just mute them. So, you can mute them for a couple days or some other time period. So, that's a.
Oh, did you see what he wrote after that?
That's great. I just muted somebody. I love it.
Does it count if I mute my husband? I mean, because he can still walk around and open up the door.
Yeah, if you do mute him, you will be banned from the show, as he says.
You know how I mute my husband? I shove lemon pound cake in his face.
Oh yeah, lemon pound cake.
So what is that? This is definitely a first.
I couldn't resist. He played Salem on Sunday night. Like, that's how cool it was. All these, and I'm not trying to be racist about it, but I'm going to be racist to my own people. All these ill-timed, very uncoordinated drunk white people at the West Side Tavern. They're my people. I'm an uncoordinated white person, even with my ballet background. And they were jamming. You can go see the videos, man. Afro man.
Were they doing that white man's overbite? Like the...
Oh yeah, and he was playing the guitar. I mean, who knew this guy could play the guitar? So
he's a musician. I knew.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. You know what? I feel like we need to get Randy. We need to send in some funds. I don't know what his campaign fund is like, so we could get an actual internet connect. Somebody actually said on here, I was looking for that. Go to McDonald's.
Go to the library.
You go to the library. Go to McDonald's. The connection's better.
The library.
Yeah, that guy had to put that
but I think also, I mean, about having a stable internet connection, but it's like, shouldn't you have like a LinkedIn page?
Well, that's a good idea. That would be a good place to put someone's resume on there with all the times and dates. Because at this point, these folks aren't going to rest until they get the tar and the feathers out and the pitchforks and they find out where you served, what you did, and how it was. And I would
John
be as honest as possible.
you have really good points, because if he can just, like validate his background, then maybe he could come into the job and really like clean house and really improve some of the things that are corrupt, because it's like you've got people stuck on your credentials and they're not even listening to you. You might have great ideas, but then but if you're stuck on your credentials, they're never going to see any of the good ideas that you bring to the table. And then it really makes I want to ask the chat, I mean, who do you guys think is the best person for the job?
Yeah,
this race will be decided by the voters, and I'm just wondering who they're leaning toward.
Yeah, let's see if I can get back to where the list was. I know that Paul put it in here, but it's way back in there. And Chris Bilbrey, he does the Spotlight. He does a show, and I think the Boss Hogs of Henry County are those folks. They do, here we go. Here's the candidates. Not Paul. Thomas Ogden put it on there.
What job is this? Jim Nicholson definitely has some great ideas. I've known him for years. Thank you, Amanda. I feel like his appearance didn't accomplish anything for Randy. Let's do it, Dan. Sheriff or
what are we doing? What is happening?
A better option.
Bonnie Pie. Hey, I planted that seed early in the show. So you should see all those. Let me get back down to the bottom here. But yeah, you know what? It's very interesting. It seems like the sheriff in Marion County just goes, it's heavily Democrat here. It basically is a Democrat primary for sheriff. It doesn't get this attention. And I know that they've had all sorts of troubles with people dying in jails and lawsuits. And I wonder how long this could keep going on. So I would say, go ahead.
John, did you see, one, it says Political Spotlight has been streaming you live and telling our viewers to head your way. And I think maybe next week you should just have all the candidates on. I think it might be a real service to that community to get them all on. And I mean, I can take the week off. I'm fine with that. But if you want to get all of their candidates on there and do a panel, I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe if we have 6 on there, maybe it'll just be a solo on a separate night. Because
are there 6 Republicans?
Yes, 6 Republicans, 2 Democrats. So we could just address it. Yeah, I know.
Make a video. Have them give them some questions and have them make videos, and we can air the videos.
Yeah, I think one question would be, "What's your experience? Where have you been? What have you done?" So next week we have Sid Mahant coming on. Yeah, because there's a little controversy about him giving money to Democrats and they're kicking him off the ballot.
Hey, I'm the one that started this, and I'm sorry, but did we give up on Randy? Is he even still with us?
I don't think he is. I'm going to go ahead and I don't think he can hear us. I don't think anything of that. So this is what we'll do. I'll reach out to him. He's been, reaching out, and we'll see if we can't get his internet fixed. And then we'll have him on at a later date. And then we'll see what he does. We'll see if he unblocks people. We'll see if he does what Lucy says, puts out, every detail, what he had for lunch in 1991. At this point, if he does not do that, it's going to be a short primary.
1991 was the last year I ate, the last year I had a Big Mac and didn't feel guilty. It was
well, now do you feel guilty?
It wasn't shameful.
About his job makes sense. I don't think they're asking for too much.
Yeah. So Indy Spangler said that they're not in good standing. Are you saying that they're saying that he's as a candidate?
Yeah. He said he's not in good standing. I don't know if they can take him off the ballot. I don't know what all that is, but the chair of Hendricks County got him for that because he gave money to I don't know what Democrat or whatever, but
wait, shouldn't everybody tell Kash Patel that he is baton experience and maybe he can train the FBI fighters like the UFC fighters are doing now?
Really?
Yeah, the UFC fighters are actually training the FBI agents now. Or they're
awesome.
No,
As
it's
soon
not.
as I just want to make sure they're not going to say anything
I
more
love the
about
UFC.
him.
I'm such a Saturday
And
night.
then we're going to kick
Yeah,
over
fight
and
night.
do the rest of the show.
My dad was a
We won't be
boxer growing
long.
up, so I grew up, watching
Come
Sugar Ray
on.
Leonard, Muhammad Ali, and
Blow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble in the jungle.
But when Mike Tyson turned, carnivore,
Rapist?
cannibal.
So we'll see about this. So all you folks in the chat there, you get a hold of your people, and if you can get a hold of your people, you can get Mouthwash Talk Show at gmail.com is the easy way to send me a message. You can do it through the Facebook. You can get. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, do you have to give them a voucher to get unblocked?
I don't know. I just think you go through your list and unblock people. I don't block a lot of
they
people.
do.
I've had to block some people that were just basically, they were had nasty pictures and whatnot. So,
I should mention, since I've got friends in Henry County, like Jeremiah, who has the podcast Boss Hog of Liberty. If you are, and he maintains an office in Newcastle. If you're a serious candidate, you should be on Jeremiah Morell's podcast. And he's a smart dude. His family's been in the county, I don't know, maybe for generations. But if you want coverage, I mean, he is so popular.
No, but he won't go on that or on, he was kind of like messing with political spotlight.
Okay, hold on. We got Randy back. Let's see what we have here.
No.
Hello, Randy.
Oh, yay.
What is he doing?
I think he might be muted, or is he not talking to us? Randy,
we're now just spying.
He's got
on him.
somebody advice. He's got to get his
He's
wife.
talking to somebody now but his computer's still on. Darn, we can see some candid Randy. Randy Candid.
Yeah, hey, put it back up.
Here.
Send that over my way.
Gun.
I don't know. Let's see.
That
Let's see
would
if he's
be.
on. Hello, Randy.
Randy.
Hello, Randy.
Randy, can we hear you? Can we see you?
No, he can't.
Do
hear
we know what the hell's going on?
So we'll leave
this
him.
is
Anybody read?
ridiculous.
Let's put him back on. Get him on there and.
Well, he knows. He knows.
No.
He just. Brad's waving it off. That's
Could
good.
we not?
So,
text him?
if there's video included, I think that's worse. If it was just audio, you can record it.
So, well, I think that we've done enough. We've done enough here. You all did a great job.
I have kids
not
waiting
done
for
a
quesadillas
thing.
because I've been at archery, and so I
I have
haven't
not
even
yet begun to
You
fight.
didn't bring home any wild boars that you shot with an arrow or anything?
No, but I'll tell you what. One of my friends is raising pigs, and so I can get it, right off the hoof or whatever. Take it to my Amish butcher. I mean, this is one of the things. If you're not getting your meat from somebody out in the county, I mean, I feel so bad for you guys that have to go to grocery stores for meat, because the difference in the quality is incredible. Even if you can just go to a farmer's market.
Yeah.
to your point, I had some sausage. My friend Sevilla has some pigs, and I had some Sevilla sausage, and it was the best sausage I'd ever had. It was meaty. When she cooked it, it had big crumbles. It was absolutely delicious. It was the meatiest
Tell Indy Spanglish to go to hell. That's
I'd ever had. So I am thinking of upgrading.
What
my
is
meat
happening
source.
right now?
Brad,
Yeah. So
no, exactly.
When
you find a good
I'm
butcher,
upgrading my
though,
meat source.
is.
Check out the
I've been
political
eating beef
spotlight
jerky from
live.
this place called
I'm
Mr.
upgrading
Brock's,
my meat source.
Up north, on my way to Michigan. Sorry,
Epstein was trying to make hoofless pigs so they could be kosher. Is that?
I want everybody who's in our group chat tonight to come back every week because it's been rich.
Yeah, you guys have been.
Yeah, you guys have got to
group
come
chat.
back. Okay,
I know that,
serious
Kristopher-
conspiracy theory. I'm going to talk all over you because this is Epstein. Epstein, because he and Bill Gates, orchestrating the pandemic and Event 201, where they rehearsed the whole thing, and they worked with each of the companies to get the funding, the billions and billions of dollars. Epstein allegedly used his DNA, had his DNA used in each of the shots, so that everybody would be walking around with his DNA.
What kind of shots?
Wow,
I'm sorry,
that's
I
a
went off
deep
the
one.
beginning of that. What kind of shots?
Okay. The COVID shots. You know how the
man.
MMR vaccine was grown on MRC5 cells, which was the aborted fetus of a woman in an institution who was bipolar and psychotic? This is literal scientific fact. You can look this up. And the WI-38 cells, which were from the Withanthia, I forget the name, but the facility is WI. That's like part of the initials of the facility,
Why
which is
didn't
why
they
it's
just use
WI-38.
Henrietta cells?
So all of those cells, those human cell lines that are used to grow the viruses and the vaccines.
I want to get back to Brad. He was just
filter
getting ready
out
to
that
say my
DNA.
name.
You
And
get an
cut him
MMR
off.
shot, you are getting the complete genome, the cell line of a baby boy that was aborted from a mom who was bipolar and psychotic and in an institution. And that cell line was injected into you. So if you're female and you're getting injected with male DNA, who knows what that can do? And the WI-38 is in the Viravax, which is the chickenpox vaccine. So that is the complete genome
Brad,
of a
back to
female.
you.
And allegedly it was 38th baby aborted, because when you are doing those sorts of cell line, you need those babies to be infected with chickenpox in utero.
Come on, we got a show to do.
Their cell lines. And Pepsi, I'm not even going to get into that. This is not even conspiracy theory.
Delicious.
Lynn.
This is Google. Google CDC vaccine excipient list. It's called the Pink Book. It lists every vaccine and it lists every ingredient.
Come on with this.
For example, I've been wondering if the reason that some people might have bovine allergies, in other words, they're allergic to eating meat, might not be the tick. It might be the fact that bovine serum, which is literally where they took, and this is a vaccine, they literally took the baby, the baby calf, still inside the amniotic sac. They used a big needle and pushed it through all the way to the baby's heart through the sac and pulled this serum, this bovine heart serum, off of an encapsulated aborted calf. Like that's what they're injecting into you and your children.
Who the hell are these mad scientists? Though, I really just want to meet one of them. Like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I inject large ass syringes into bovine heads. Like,
finish it off. I'm afraid to cut it before the.
Yeah. So. I think my vaccine,
because I don't want to have to go back and watch this once we're done.
All you have to do is just look at the receipts, man. There's never been any vaccine that has been through a randomized, double-blind, inert, placebo-controlled study to prove that it actually prevents any disease, nor have there been any safety studies that prove that any vaccine is safe. And so once you go down this rabbit hole and you see the same kind of thing, I mean, Trump just did this. If you have been paying attention,
there's no real part two. This is the whole show all night. But as soon as this is done, I'm just going to tell you where my thoughts are, and then we're going to wrap up. I haven't eaten. Oh, I guess I did. I ate half a thing of leftovers.
She's not going to let Brad talk again. Just cut this.
Well,
what is she doing? I really like Lucy a lot, but this is she's going crazy.
She's off the rails tonight.
We have red blood because we have iron in the center.
Dude, does she breathe?
I don't think so.
Because
all right, here we go.
We don't have shikimate
just cut her
because we're not plants.
I love her
too. I love listening to a libertarian point of view all the time, but tonight she's off the rails.
Okay. Lucy, you're killing me with this thing because now I'm going to probably not be able to sleep because the glyphosate monster is going to come get me. And
wait till I tell you next week about glyphosate and oxalate crystals.
All right. I gotta fucking watch this now afterwards. Okay, so here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Mouthwash podcast. I appreciate what they attempted to do. Let me get this off screen. My problem, my bitch about this is, even if they had the best audio and video connection possible, even Randy was sitting on John's lap. It took them, they normally go an hour. They normally do a show for 1 hour, and they very rarely, I think this might be one of only 2 or 3 times that I have ever seen them go later than 10 o'clock. They are normally done right at 10. And I think the reason that they were going so late was because we pushed people that way, and their chat was busy and people wanted to know. And so, I appreciate what they try to do. My complaint is that even if it was good, hell, it took them until 9:45 before they even got to a question. And the issue is they're wanting to listen to me. Listen, I get where I'm going to go up here real quick and look for this. I get where Bruce Mann is coming from. I understand it. I get what Bruce is saying. I don't care anything about politics. I just want to know if the candidates are going to follow the Constitution and not violate my or other citizens' rights. I got that. Let me tell you something. Randy Howard, okay? Randy Howard is a wannabe. He's the man, the boy child that grew up wanting so badly to be important, wanting to be a police officer, wanting to be the secret agent, wanting to be the FBI guy, wanting to be the main character of the movie. He gets off on the idea of being in power and shooting people, and I'm going to go up there the first week. I'm going to have some real serious business with him. Look, this is all a power trip to Randy. He doesn't know. Randy knows what the Second Amendment is. He knows what the First Amendment is.
Christopher, you are lagging a bit.
Okay.
You're lagging.
What's
audio
that mean?
And video? It's kind of stuttery.
Of course. Give me a second.
Are you leaving me?
Just stay here and I'll pop out back in.
All right, we'll see what we can do here. I'm sorry, it was making me a little crazy. So, and now the show is mine. I need my music. Where's my music? Yes, now the show is mine. All mine. Here. Well, shoot, you foiled my evil plan. You came back.
Oh, yes. Well, that's true. Am I still lagging?
No, this is better.
Okay, good. So the bottom line is Randy has always wanted to be this person. And the thing is, Randy knows about the First Amendment. Randy knows about the Second Amendment. But Randy doesn't truly know what it means to be a constitutional sheriff. Okay? Randy doesn't know what it means to be a true public servant. It's not about being a public servant. It's not about serving the public. So it's not about politics. It's just about having somebody that could be. And let me tell you something. Signs don't vote. Signs don't vote. But there are a lot of people in Henry County that have Randy Howard signs. Now, I want to know why. What's going on that there are a good number of Randy Howard signs in the county? Why is that going on? So my thing is, with the other sheriff's deputies, it might be important to, with the other candidates, it might be important to talk about these constitutional issues. and they're the most important thing in the world. But if we can't even get past the fact that this guy can't tell the truth about what he's done for a job, then the Constitution doesn't even matter. It's already out the window. Okay? So the thing that people understand is, and this is what's really frustrating, is he's not going to come on my show. He's not going to go back on their show, and I think I'm still lagging. I see it over there. Can't. Well, I think they have infected me. He's somehow infected me. Bottom line, listen, this was a shit show. This what's going on, and Randy's not going to do anything better than this. I would love to see what plans to do. Let me tell you. Let me put this up here on the screen. This I got this during tonight's show. Look at what an absolute idiot this guy is. I want you to look at this picture that got sent to me while we were watching Randy do whatever Randy's doing. Okay, watch this. I'll fix this internet issue for tomorrow, so stand by. But this is what it says here. Reward! $500 reward. I'm offering a $500 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of individuals responsible for removing and stealing my campaign signs from the area of 14th and Riley Road. This is not a harmless act. It is theft. Taking property that does not belong to you is a crime, plain and simple. A police report has already been filed. Overnight, 5 campaign signs have been stolen. If you have any information, please contact police dispatch at press 5 to reach Officer Morrison or contact me directly. Your help would be appreciated. Listen, Randy Howard, if you put your signs up in the right of way, they're going to be pulled down by city street department or county street department. So first and foremost, you might want to go check with the city and county street departments or the code enforcement or the homeowners. You also might need to talk with the same people in charge of the bees, God, and maybe ask him if he blew your sign, Kingdom Come, because of the wind or this or that. So the thing is, you don't post an ignorant ass thing saying, I'm gonna pay you $500 reward. Here's the deal. This is what some smart criminals should do. One of them go steal the signs, the other one turn them in and be like, and they can split things 250. They can take 250, bond the guy out of jail, and then they can split the $250. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do anything criminal. That was a joke. The bottom line is, real candidates don't make posts about it. Chances are Randy is just talking. There are no signs that have been taken. This is something that candidates do to make it look like, oh, my opponents are scared. They're stealing my signs. Henry County. There are people that are asking me why I'm not covering much of Muncie and Delaware County's election. You want me to be perfectly honest? Because basically all the candidates in Delaware County suck. I'm not really happy with any of them. They all suck. It's all the same. We're going to get Matt Kantz, or we're going to get another Brand, or we're going to get a Dan Ridenauer, we're going to get a Richard Davey. We're going to get to hell with all of them. It don't matter who's in there. It's going to be, here's what it's going to be. It's going to be, they get in there and we ask questions and they say they don't have to answer. And we have to file record requests and we have to push back. So I'm not even getting attached to any of them. When we get through the primary, we'll see what shakes out. We'll see who wins. When we get past the general election, we'll see what goes on. I'm so fed up with the lack of anything interesting here in Denver County. We don't even have anything interesting going on. So the biggest thing currently right now is the deal going on with Randy Howard and Sproles and all other nits down there. We've got a very similar situation going on in Madison County, where you have John Beeman, who's an idiot, and Jonathan Culp, who shouldn't be elected sheriff, but my God, he might be because of his name recognition and his parents' money situation, the Republican, money situation in that county. Politics in Indiana is getting to the point where it's just a nameless, faceless person. It's all just, like it's like that. What do they call what are the people in video games that are not real characters? NPCs. That's what Delaware County's elected officials are. And a lot of elected officials basically everywhere. They're all NPCs. So it's really crazy. Okay. So I'm getting people that are saying that Randy's been asked to remove signs that he placed without he placed without permission. I'm hearing that the signs on that were missing on Riley Road are signs that were asked to be removed. And look, who knows what's going on? That's a game. I can't wait to the point where we just completely outlaw all yard signs. They're stupid. If you can't stand up and tell the people what you're running about, who you are, and speak to the people. And look, I'm going to be really clear. I don't care if the people are coming to you under an assumed name. I don't care if they're coming to you in their real name. I don't care if they're writing to you and leaving their name blank. You got to talk to the people that are coming and asking you questions. And I don't care if they're men or they're women or they're foreign, they're Asian, or they're from England, or they're German, or they're white, or they're black, or they're Mexican. I don't give a shit about any of that. If you are an elected official and you have some kind of situation where you're saying, I'm not answering questions from this group, I'm not answering questions from this group, I'm not going to allow myself to be bullied, these people asking me questions, I'm going to block these people. Listen, if that's how you're starting out as a candidate, it's all downhill from there. There's nowhere to go. Okay? People don't. If you campaign shitty, if you are a shitty candidate, you are going to be a shitty elected official, period. You're not going to be a shitty candidate out running a shitty campaign and then be elected and then automatically be like, damn, I'm better. People can do wrong and can correct things. If you're out there doing this weirdness that Randy's doing, and there are other people doing this that I just can't stomach it. People that are actually saying that they're outstanding for the people, but yet they want to put disclaimers on who they will and won't answer questions to. I'm sorry, that's not the way. If you are not willing to answer the questions that are being asked, screw who's asking it. If there's a question out there and you can't handle it and you can't handle the heat with getting all sideways and screaming and yelling and blocking and acting a fool, then you are in the wrong business, period. So I'm going to work on tracking down this weirdness that Randy responded to tonight. I have a record request into ILEA. Let me check quick just to make sure we didn't get anything come through. I don't think that we did. Yeah, no. Okay. hopefully we'll get it tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. We will go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this show. I'm sorry it was long. It was good. It wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. We did, look, I'll put it to you this way. It turned out to be basically like I thought it would be, but for different reasons. So it is what it is. I hope you were able to learn something. Here's the deal. Are the other candidates going to answer some questions? I noticed they're all mum about the Nicholas Claus situation too. That's a very good situation. A very good thought, Joe. I'm going to reach out to them. Most of them have reached out to me and said they would be willing to talk. So I'll start doing that. It's a little too early for setting all of that up. Some people we're gonna start doing stuff. I try to get a little bit closer to early voting, which will be starting in about 2 weeks. So that's what's going on. That's the situation. If you're running, I want to hear how you're going to run the position or office you want to hold. Absolutely, Bruce, man. 1,000%. 1,000%. Tomorrow night, who is your guest? I have no clue. Who is my guest? I don't think I have a guest tomorrow night. Who is my guest tomorrow night? Do I have a guest tomorrow night? What is tomorrow? Is tomorrow Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday, Kate just. Is Steve Duggar coming on? Steve Duggar? Steve Duggar? That's very similar to Steve Bellinger. One of them are going to have to get another name. I don't know which one came first, but one of them is going to have to get another name. So we will have Steve Duggar on tomorrow night. I guess he's running for commissioner in Henry County. He's who I'm supporting over the 14-year-old boy that's running because his grandpa wants to be the commissioner behind the scenes or something. So we're going to ask him about all of this madness and all of this insanity and what he will do as commissioner and how he's going to overcome some of this craziness. And I will keep you guys posted from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. Thank you all very much. It has been fun. It is what it is. Thank you all for watching. Hey, before we get completely out of here, I would ask that you all go through and smash that like button, do all of that stuff. That would be so fantastic. You guys have been wonderful. And share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. Be back tomorrow for Duggar and his interview. We'll see what he's going to do. And we will go from there. And I think I have a surprise for you guys. Maybe for Thursday. I'm really going to try to get it in for Thursday, but I'll let you guys know. So take care. Good night. And we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.